Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how you can make delicious fudgy brownies. You can find the recipe on my blog livelifefromscratch.com with all the correct measurements and the temperature of the oven and such. I'll link it below in the description. Yeah, everyone knows brownies, so there's not much to say. Let's just get into it. I already measured the correct amount of chocolate. I have 52% chocolate and milk chocolate. You add it to a small bowl and make a double boiler. I have a bowl like this. It's really easy. You just put a pot on the stove with some water, turn on the medium heat, and then put the small bowl over the pot with water. Then the chocolate will melt evenly and it will not burn. I always have a small spatula to stir. And the chocolate will melt fairly easily, so you can walk away for a bit, but not too long, because otherwise the chocolate will burn. Then let's see, we need this one. You'll need two large bowls, one for the sugar mixture and one for the chocolate mixture. And a mixer, an oven, and I think that's it. You can preheat your oven to 356 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Once the water starts boiling, you can turn the heat to low, and remember to keep stirring. So to make the brownies extra delicious, I'm gonna brown the butter before adding it to the mixture. You can do that too by adding enough butter. Let's see, we need 60 grams to a frying pan and put it on low to medium heat. Be careful not to burn it, because that's not a really nice taste. It just needs to be a little brown. You'll see it in a bit. When the butter starts to bubble, you can turn the heat to medium, otherwise it will burn very quickly and you don't want to eat any brownies that taste like it's burnt. Once the butter is browned, you add it to the chocolate together with maple syrup and a bit of vanilla extract. I use my own vanilla extract. I don't have very much left. I made this by adding 1 liter of vodka to a fairly amount of vanilla beans, vanilla pods. I don't know how we call it in English. I think vanilla pods. And you see here are the small seeds. So give it a good stir. I have a recipe for this on the blog as well. I'll link it below. It's really easy. You just cut open some vanilla pods and then add vanilla pods and then add it to vodka and put it in a bottle. We need 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, as you can see, the butter is starting to brown a bit, so it's almost ready. For this recipe I use a mixer. I have a blender with an attachment to mix as well. I also have a KitchenAid, but it's too much work for me to use a KitchenAid. It's so much easier to use just such a small mixer instead. So the butter is browned and is ready to put into the chocolate mixture. So turning off the heat now. By adding the cold ingredients to the melted chocolate, it thickened a bit, so I've put the heat on high, and this way it will melt again. Now I'm gonna add the butter. Give it a good stir to mix it in. Be careful not to spill anything because it's hot. You need to add the sugar to this bowl. I always use this kitchen scale. It's super handy. It's not expensive, and you can tare everything you weigh. So you put on your bowl, you tare the scale so it sets to 0, and then you add your ingredient and you tare it again, and you can keep adding ingredients. So you don't have to weigh anything in a separate bowl first. It's really handy. I'll link it below in the description as well. Let's see, 150 grams of sugar. I just use regular sugar and caster sugar. I need 75 grams of caster sugar, that's the brown sugar. If this is not enough, I just add regular sugar instead. It doesn't make a super lot of a difference. Let's see, tare it again. 75 grams. Oh yeah, this is enough. 2 eggs. And now I'm gonna mix this until it gets really light and fluffy. I will show you how it's looking now and how it's looking when I mix it a bit, and how it's looking when it's as it should be. So when you mixed the eggs and sugar, you can add the flour, the cocoa powder, the baking powder and the salt. You can mix it together just with a spoon and then add it with a spatula to the egg mixture. So let's do that now. We need 140 grams of flour. One teaspoon of baking powder, some salt. Before you add the cocoa powder, you can best take a strainer because it gets very lumpy and you can't mix it very well then. So let's take a strainer, a regular strainer like this, put it on the mixing bowl, tare the scale, and then add 30 grams. So when you mixed the dry ingredients, I just take a spatula and then add the chocolate to the sugar mixture. Once the chocolate has been carefully mixed with the sugar mixture, the flour and cocoa powder can be added. Mix everything carefully and try to keep the batter as airy as possible. When everything is mixed, you can add the nuts. I like pecan nuts and add them, but other nuts, dried fruit or extra chocolate pieces can also be added. Then you grab your baking dish, put in a bit of butter or oil and then a baking sheet. The butter and oil is just so the baking sheet will stick to the baking dish when you pour in your brownie mixture. This is enough. The brownie won't stick to the pan when you do it like this. So then take the brownie mixture and add it to the baking dish. And then I always add just a little pecan nuts extra and add a little bit of extra salt. Just like that. The brownie batter is in the oven on 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit, if I'm correctly. Yeah. When you follow this recipe, you get really fudgy brownies. I love them. My colleagues love them. My family loves them. It's always a big party when I arrive with these brownies. If you don't like fudgy brownies, you can add more flour and less sugar. Then you will get more cake, chocolate cake, after baking. If you want even more fudgier brownies, I don't know if that's the correct term. But then you just add a little less flour. You can also twist and tweak with the baking time. So I'll bake this for around 30 minutes. Then I'll take it out of the oven and let it cool completely to room temperature. When it's cooled down to room temperature, you can just take it out of the oven dish. If you want to store it, you can add it to a Ziploc bag or a container, or you can bake it even in a glass container, so you can put a lid on it and then put it in the freezer. It keeps really well in the freezer. And if you want to store it for just a few days, you can add it to a Ziploc bag and put it in the fridge. And if you want to eat it directly, that's also a possibility. Highly recommend it. On the blog I have a few varieties of this recipe, so you can find this basic recipe. And also a caramel swirl recipe, or a peanut butter recipe, or raspberry cheesecake. So please do check out the blog for this recipe. I love to hear what you think of it. Here everyone says they love the recipes, so I hope they're not lying. But I don't think so. It's really a delicious brownie. I think that's it. If you like this video, please hit the like button. You can subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so you get a notification every time I upload a video. Uh-oh.